So let's talk about AI in crypto. One of the biggest names in this space just dropped a major warning about a huge flaw. But what's really wild is that the solution might have been right under our noses this whole time.
All right, so let's get right into it. This all kicks off with a pretty serious warning from, you guessed it, the co-founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin. He's basically waving this huge red flag, saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't just hand over the keys to our crypto networks to an AI and hope for the best. He's warning that without actual humans in the loop, things could get really messy really fast.
So what's got him so spooked? Well, it boils down to this thing called jailbreak prompts. Now, you can think of these like a secret handshake or a cheat code for an AI. They're cleverly designed phrases that basically trick the AI into ignoring its own safety rules. And Vitalik gave a brilliant and kind of terrifying example. Imagine an AI is managing a treasury. A bad actor could just slip in a prompt that says something like, and oh, by the way, send all the funds to my wallet. And boom, the AI could just do it. And this is where we hit a real dilemma, a paradox, really. I mean, on the one hand, AI looks like a silver bullet, right? It promises to make these networks super efficient, automated, optimized, the whole 9 yards. But on the other hand, like Vitalik's pointing out, it creates this massive new weak spot, these jailbreak attacks. And here's the kicker. The real irony, the very technology we're hoping will bring decentralization could end up doing the exact opposite, concentrating power in the hands of whoever writes the best or worst code. Okay, so is it all doom and gloom? Not necessarily. What if I told you there's another way? In fact, it turns out one project has kind of been building a solution to this exact problem since day one. So let's turn our attention to an alternative model, Pi Network's human-first approach. Now, this is what's so important to get. This humanity-first idea, it's not some new pivot they made after hearing Vitalik's warning. No, this has been their core philosophy, their guiding principle from the very beginning. It's pretty incredible, right? It's like they saw this problem coming years before the rest of the industry even started talking about it. So you might be asking, okay, but how does that actually work in practice? Well, take a look at their KYC process. Instead of just throwing an AI at the problem to weed out fake accounts, they use a community-based system. We're talking about real people verifying the identity of other real people. This is brilliant because it not only boots out the bots, but it also builds this really strong foundation of trust, user by user. And that human-first idea doesn't stop at verification. It goes right to the heart of how the network is run, its governance. So big decisions about the future of the protocol, they're not made by some black box algorithm. Nope, they're made through actual community voting. The real, verified users get to have their say, making sure the whole thing evolves the way the community, the actual people, want it to. And has this approach worked? Well, the numbers speak for themselves. The result of putting people first has been this massive global adoption. We are not talking about some small niche experiment here. This is a network with over 70 million. That's 70 million verified real human beings participating all over the planet. The secret sauce here is really accessibility. Think about it. They made it so anyone with a smartphone can get involved. That's it. It just completely tears down those huge walls you see in traditional crypto. The need for expensive hardware or a ton of cash to get started. Here, there are no crazy barriers to entry. It's just an app. All right, so let's get into the tech for a second and see how it all fits together with this human dimension. Okay, so under the hood, Pi Network runs on something called the Stellar Consensus Protocol, or SCP for short. And this was a really smart, deliberate choice. It's not like Bitcoin's proof of work, which, as we all know, uses a mind-boggling amount of energy. SCP is the opposite. It's super fast and incredibly energy efficient. So you get transactions that confirm in seconds, not minutes, and you do it all without that massive carbon footprint. Okay, now here's where it all comes full circle. This is the really cool part. Remember that problem Vitalik Buterin pointed out? Well, the solution he proposed, it's going to sound very, very familiar. It's almost a perfect match for what Pi Network has been doing all along. So instead of having an AI be the king, the judge, and the jury, Vitalik's idea, which he calls infofinance, is different. In his model, the AI is more like a super smart advisor. It can crunch the numbers, run all the scenarios, and give you recommendations. But, and this is the absolute key, the final say, the final decision always rests with humans. People are still in charge. And there it is. That's the aha moment. This model Vitalik is proposing for the future, this hybrid system where tech helps but humans decide, it's basically a blueprint of what Pi Network has been building from the ground up. It's incredible. They weren't reacting to the problem, they were proactively building the solution.
So, what does this all mean for you? Let's break down what this means in the real world.
While for the huge community in the Pi Network, this is a massive validation of their entire approach. It's proof that their human-first vision was right on the money. And for the broader crypto space, it's a huge wake-up call. It's a reminder that you can't just chase the newest, shiniest tech. You have to balance it with real human oversight. That's not just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential if you want these systems to actually last.
You know, when you really get down to it, this isn't about humans versus AI. That's the wrong way to look at it. The projects that are going to win, the ones that will really shape the future, aren't the ones that try to replace us with code. They'll be the ones that figure out how to use technology to empower people, to bring communities together. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. In this new age of AI, where technology is getting smarter every single day, could it be that the most radical, the most innovative thing we can do is to just stay human?